Alright, so good afternoon everyone. Good afternoon, Miss. How are you today? Did you have your lunch? Yes, I hope you are in good condition. So we are from group 4 from class C. We'll present about regional and social dialects. But before we continue the presentation, let us to introduce ourselves first. The first speaker is myself. My name is Fuji Dewanthi. You can call me Fuji. The second speaker, we have Eva Julia Maharani. So for Eva, could you please say hello, Eva?
Hello everyone.
Okay, and the last speaker, we have Agung Dhyana Kumara. For Agung, say hello, please.
Hello everyone.
Okay, next slide, please. Alright, so in this meeting, we are going to discuss about three main topics. These are the first, regional dialects, second, social variation, and the last, social dialects also. So to make time be effectively, I will start the presentation. Next, please. Okay, so maybe, okay, next slide. Okay, maybe you think that where should we to learn about this material? The way that we speak is a good indicator of our social background. So it shows many features that we can be used as a clue for our background. The sociolinguistics have found that most of the linguistic features in community which show variation will differentiate the frequency from social groups, and also another is a pattern and a predict way. Next. Okay, so let's learn about regional dialects. Next. A regional dialect is a distinct from a language spoken in a particular geographical area. Also known as a regional or dialect, regional dialect is variety of a language that's spoken in geographical area for many hundreds of years as seen different pronunciation in its choice and the form of the word and syntax. Next, please. So these are three categories of the regional dialects. The first is international varieties, the second intra-national varieties, and the last cross-continental variation. Next. So, international variation is show how different parts of the world use the same language differently in the term of the sense of the pronunciation, vocabulary or word choice, and grammatical structures. Jadi, international varieties ini menunjukkan bagaimana berbagai belahan dunia dalam menggunakan bahasa yang sama secara berbeda dalam hal pengucapan atau pronunciation, kemudian pada kosakata atau vocabulary dan struktur tata bahasa atau grammatical structure. Next. Okay, so the example for pronunciation is in American English and British English. Jadi, saat kita mengucapkan kata mobil, maka orang Amerika akan mengatakan car, menggunakan huruf R. Sedangkan orang British akan mengucapkan car, tanpa R. Contoh keduanya adalah dalam pengucapan kata taman. Kata taman, orang Amerika akan mengatakan park. Sedangkan orang British akan menggunakan park tanpa R. Okay, so far, can you get my point? Yes, for the next is about vocabulary. Next, Agung. Jadi penggunaan vocabulary atau kosakata akan menentukan di mana orang itu berada. So for example, the word car in Indonesia we call mobil, while in Malaysian it called kereta. For another example, the pronunciation of the bag in Indonesian it called tas, while in Malaysian it called bag. Yes, that's all about the vocabulary. So next we have grammatical structure. Grammatical structure atau tata bahasa, for example, is in American English and also British English. In American English, the people will say, "Did you eat yet?" Or, "Do you have a match?" While in British English, they will say, "Have you eaten yet?" Have you got a certificate? Like that. Okay, I hope so far you can understand about international varieties. Now let's we move about the second material, or the second category is about international varieties. So international varieties is the high level of international communication together with a relatively small population that can have inhibited the development of marked regional difference in these countries. Jadi, dalam kategori ini, bahasa yang digunakan sama dengan satu negara, akan tetapi mereka berasal dari wilayah atau daerah yang berbeda. Biasanya ini terkait dengan dialects. So, next, for example, is a language in Maori or a New Zealand. The word kiri-kiri has a meaning gravel atau kerikil pada mereka yang berasal dari daerah barat bagian Maori. Sedangkan di daerah timur, kata kiri-kiri diartikan sebagai pasir or sand. Another example for make us being easier to understand is in Java and also in Sunda dialects. For example, is about the word gedang. Japanese people mean that gedang is banana, while Sunda people mean that gedang is papaya. Yes, I think that's all about the international varieties. Now we continue with the last categories, that's cross-continental variation. Alright, so cross-continental variation is two or more different language or dialect is merged into others without the definable boundaries. Jadi variasi lintas kontinental adalah dua atau lebih bahasa atau dialek yang berbeda yang bergabung menjadi satu sama lain tanpa batas yang tidak terhingga. So you can see in the slides we have three dialects chained across Europe. For the number one links all dialect of German, Dutch, Flemish for Switzerland, Australia, Germany, and the Netherlands and Belgium. The second links dialect of Portuguese, Spanish, Catalan, French, and Italian. And last, Scandinavian chains links between Norwegian, Swedish, Danish, therefore the Swedish and Norwegians. Jadi, untuk membedakan suatu dialek dengan dialek yang lainnya, kita harus memperhatikan fungsi sosial atau fungsi politik dari bahasa dan fitur linguistik lainnya. Alright, my friends, so that's all explanation from me. I hope you understand about the material about regional dialects. The next material is about social variation, which will be presented by Eva. For Eva, time is yours.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity, Fuji. I will continue the material. It is about social variation. For Agung, you can next the slide. Okay, this is about RP. RP, a social accent. RP or received pronunciation is an accent, not a dialect. It is a social accent, not regional one. So it doesn't contain any clues about the speaker's geographic background, but it does reveal a great deal about their social or educational background. RP is the accent of the best educated and the most prestigious members of English society. It is claimed that the label derives from the accent which was received at the royal court, and it is sometimes identified with the Queen's English, although the accent used by Queen Elizabeth II. RP was promoted by BBC for decades. Okay, it's about the definition of RP, and for Agung, you can next the slide. Okay, we next with scheme of the social variation. As you can see on the slide, from the diagram, you can see this is described the distribution of the accents in English recently. From the triangle, most linguistics variation will be found in the lowest socio-economic level with different regional, and from the triangle, We can also see just a bit people use RP and only used by highest class and educated people in England. So we are very rarely to hear people who use RP accent in the world. Okay, that's all about the social variation. For the next material, we'll be continue with my partner, Ngura Agung. So, Ngura Agung, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Eva, for the chance that you have given to me. So, hello, my friend. I will tell you about the social dialect. So dialect is a dialect depend on the variety of the factor, variety of speech associated with a particular social class or occupational group within a society. The differences in the speech associated with the various social group, various factors to determine social positioning such as the occupation, education, cultural, background, and residence. And the next is the standard English. English is social dialect. It is a dialect used by well-educated English speakers throughout the world. It is the variety used for national news, broadcast, and in print. It is a variety generally taught. Standard English is more accommodating than RP and allow for some variation within its boundaries. In Standard English, a limited amount of grammatical variation is acceptable. A speaker of Standard English might produce either A. I have not washed the dishes yet today. B. I haven't washed the dishes yet today. The next is the non-standard English or vernacular, a term which is used with a variety of the meaning in sociolinguistics, but the meaning have something in common. Just as vernacular language contrasts with standard language, vernacular dialect features contrast with standard dialect features. Vernacular forms tend to be learned at home and used in informal contexts. The next is the caste dialect. Countries, their language generally reflect this grouping. They use different social dialects. It could be determined by birth, age, and strict of social rules govern the kind of behavior appropriate to each group. The rules cover such matters as the kind of job people can have, who they can marry, how they should dress, how they should eat, and how they should behave in a range of social situations. For example, milk for Brahmin caste dialect is halu, and the non-Brahmin caste dialect is alu. Okay, the next is social class dialect vocabulary. The term class is used have a certain term for differences between people which are associated with the difference in social stage, wealth, and education. For example, bank manager do not talk like officer cleaner, and lawyer do not talk or do not speak in the same way as the vulgars defend. The example, you speaker, use sitting room, lavatory, and the non-use speaker use lodge and toilet. The next is the pronunciation. Social group distinguished by frequency with the use a particular and by they use completely different from the speaker. Different social background were signaled by the different proportion of this feature of their speech. For example, the pronunciation ing versus in at the end of the word like sleeping and swimming distinguishes social group in English speaking community. People from lower social group use more of the vernacular in variation than those from higher group. Okay. The next is the grammatical pattern. It is possible to compare the portion of standard form in the speech of children from different social groups. It was found that children example of standard and personal form in the past tense verb. A. I finished that book yesterday. B. I finished that book yesterday. In the present tense verb is the Rose walks to school every day. And the next is Rose walk to school every day. Okay, guys. I think that's all about my explanation about the social dialects. The next is I give back the time to Fuji. For Fuji, time is yours. Thank you.
Alright, thank you very much for Eva and Agung. So that's all the material about regional and social dialects. We hope all of you can understand about the material. The next activity is Q&A session. So anyone, if you're still confused about this material, please feel free to ask the question. But because now we are not together, maybe you can write down your question and tell us by private chat. So we think that's all about our meeting today. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you and bye.